Here comes a time in every person's life when it feels like the walls are closing in, when prayers seem to echo in silence and hope appears to fade like the last light of day. But I want to tell you something tonight that will stir your soul and awaken your faith. Your breakthrough is coming so fast, you won't be able to contain it. The very thing you have cried out to God for, the healing, the restoration, the favor, the open door, is closer than you think. You may not see it yet, but God is already setting the stage. Heaven is preparing the answer while you are still on your knees. You have waited, you have endured, and you have fought battles no one else could see. But now the wind is shifting and the season is changing. What was delayed is about to be delivered. When God decides to move, nothing in the universe can stand in His way. You might feel forgotten, but you are not forsaken. You might feel hidden, but you are being prepared. God hides His greatest treasures in obscurity before revealing them to the world. The pressure you've been under is not punishment. It's preparation. The tears you've cried have watered the soil for your miracle. Every disappointment, every closed door, every sleepless night was not wasted. God was working behind the scenes, aligning circumstances, softening hearts, and creating divine connections that will bring your breakthrough faster than you can imagine. There's something powerful that happens when a person keeps believing in God, even when nothing makes sense. Faith in the unseen moves the hand of the Almighty. Some of you have been praying for so long that you started to wonder if God even hears you anymore. You've fasted. You've surrendered. You've held on with trembling hands. But hear this, your faith has not gone unnoticed. God has seen every act of trust. Every time you resisted giving up, every time you chose to believe, even when doubt shouted louder. And God is saying, now is the time. The harvest is ready. The answer is on its way. You won't have to chase it. It's going to overtake you. When God releases a breakthrough, it doesn't trickle. It overflows. It's not a slow drip of blessing. It's a flood. And when that flood comes, you won't be able to contain it. Doors you never knocked on will open. Opportunities you didn't qualify for will find you. People who once ignored you will begin to honor you. God will cause favor to locate you in places you've never even been. The same God who turned darkness into light with a single word is the same God who can turn your situation around in a moment. You might have been waiting for years, but it only takes one divine second for everything to change. Think of how the seasons shift in nature. The earth can look dead in winter, but under the surface, life is preparing to bloom. You can't see the roots breaking through the soil, but they're moving, growing, reaching. That's exactly what God is doing in your life. Beneath the surface of what looks still, the Spirit of God is at work. You may not see the movement, but you're about to feel it. Suddenly, everything will begin to align. Suddenly, the phone call will come. Suddenly, the report will change. Suddenly, the opportunity will open. And when it happens, you will know it wasn't luck. It wasn't coincidence. It was God. Don't mistake the waiting season for a wasted season. Every minute of your delay has been divine timing. God does not rush His miracles because He knows when the foundation is ready to hold the blessing. If He gave it to you too soon, it would crush you instead of elevate you. That's why He let you walk through disappointment, so you could learn dependence. That's why He allowed the struggle, so your strength would grow. That's why He closed doors, so you would be led to the right one. Everything you have been through has been shaping you into the vessel that can handle what's about to overflow. When God's time comes, no power on earth can stop it. He does not check the economy before blessing you. He does not ask permission from people before promoting you. When He decides to elevate you, He will do it in front of everyone who doubted you. Some of you have been in a hidden season where no one clapped for your efforts. No one noticed your faithfulness. But the same God who saw you weeping in private is about to reward you in public. The same God who saw your quiet sacrifices is about to make your name known. Not for fame, not for glory, but so that others may see that God exalts those who trust Him. There will come a moment when everything you've been praying for will collide with everything God has been preparing. That collision will be your breakthrough. And it won't come little by little. It will come in waves. The blessing will be so great you'll say, I don't know how to contain all this. That's how you'll know it's Him. Because when God blesses, He doesn't measure sparingly. He pours until your cup runs over. He fills until your life overflows. He gives you more than you ask for because He delights in your faithfulness. But listen closely. Before the breakthrough comes, there is often a breaking. The closer you get to the promise, the harder the pressure becomes. The night is darkest just before the dawn, and many give up when they're one prayer away from victory. Don't let that be you. The enemy always attacks hardest when he knows God is about to move. The confusion, the discouragement, the weariness you've been feeling, it's not a sign of defeat. It's a sign of transition. You're moving from waiting to winning, from praying to possessing. The storm that has surrounded you will soon reveal the strength that's within you. When God is ready to bless you, He doesn't ask if you're comfortable. He asks if you're ready. Because breakthrough brings responsibility. When the doors open, you must walk through them with faith. When the blessings come, you must steward them with humility. When the opportunities appear, you must use them for His glory. You see, God is not just giving you things. He's preparing you for purpose. The overflow that's coming to your life isn't just for you. It's meant to bless others through you. The breakthrough will be too big to contain because it was never meant for one person. It's meant to flow through you to the world around you. You may have thought God forgot about that dream He placed in your heart years ago, but He hasn't. It's been maturing. Like fine fruit on a tree, The promise has been ripening for its perfect season. And now you're about to see what God saw all along. The people who overlooked, you will be amazed. The situations that broke, you will be redeemed. The setbacks that delayed, you will be turned into divine setups for something greater. God is about to make everything make sense. There's a divine acceleration happening in your life. What should have taken years will happen in months. What you thought would take a lifetime will happen suddenly, because when God steps into time, time bends to His will. You are not behind schedule. You're right where you need to be. God has been orchestrating every detail with precision. Even the disappointments were ingredients in the recipe of your destiny. And soon the taste of your victory will erase the bitterness of your past pain. Many people look at the delay and assume God is not working. But the truth is He's working the hardest when it looks like nothing's happening. The silence of God is not absence. It's strategy. When a seed is planted, the farmer doesn't hear it growing. He waits. He trusts because he knows that beneath the soil, life is forming. That's you. You've been in the ground, unseen, buried in faith, but not forgotten. And now the time has come for that seed to break through the soil and reach the light. You're about to rise. You're about to bloom. You're about to see the promise burst forth. God is about to move so swiftly in your life that even your enemies will be speechless. Those who mocked you will witness your miracle. Those who doubted your faith will see the hand of God upon you. Some of the very people who turned their backs on you will have to watch God lift you higher. But don't let pride enter your heart. Stay humble. Remember, this breakthrough is not proof of your power, but of God's goodness. It's a testimony of what happens when a soul refuses to give up on the Creator's plan. Sometimes the greatest blessing comes disguised as a burden. You may not understand why God took certain people out of your life or closed doors that looked promising. But He did it to protect your future. He knows what you can't see. He sees the traps ahead. He knows the hearts of people around you. And when He removes something, it's because He's about to replace it with something better. You cried over what left, but you'll rejoice over what's coming. Because what's coming will not just fill the gap, it will overflow it. You have to understand that God doesn't do average things. He does exceeding things. He doesn't just restore what was lost. He multiplies it. He doesn't just heal. He makes you whole. He doesn't just open one door. He opens a pathway. The moment you realize that your breakthrough is not dependent on your strength, but on His will, everything shifts. You stop striving and start trusting. You stop worrying and start worshiping, because when God moves, no force on earth can hold you back. Right now, as you hear these words, something inside you is awakening. Faith is rising again. Hope is stirring again. You can feel it. The sense that something is shifting in your favor. That's not emotion. That's confirmation. God is whispering to your spirit, I'm not done yet. The same God who sustained you through your lowest valley is the same God who's about to elevate you to your highest mountain. The years of struggle are about to give birth to a season of sudden miracles. There will be days soon when you'll wake up and realize that the pain has turned into peace, that the waiting has turned into winning, and that the prayers you whispered in tears have turned into songs of joy. You'll look around and say, only God could have done this. You won't be able to explain it, and you won't need to. Because when God blesses you, the evidence will speak louder than your words. That's why you must stay faithful now. This is not the time to quit. This is not the time to doubt. You are closer than you think. The clouds are gathering, not for a storm of sorrow, but for a rain of blessing. Every prayer you've prayed has been stored up in the heavens, and the dam is about to break. When it does, you won't be able to contain it. You'll find yourself saying, God, I don't deserve this kind of favor. And He'll whisper back, that's because it's grace. So lift your head, strengthen your heart, hold fast to your faith, because your breakthrough is not coming slowly. It's racing toward you. It's running through every obstacle, breaking through every barrier, and heading straight for your life. And when it arrives, it will come so suddenly, so abundantly, and so powerfully that you'll stand in awe of what God has done. You'll remember this moment, and you'll realize He was preparing you all along for something you couldn't yet see. When God begins to move in your life, the shift is undeniable. You can feel it before you see it. Something deep within you begins to sense that change is near. It's not your imagination. It's divine alignment. God never whispers change without already preparing the way for it. You've endured the nights of silence and the days of struggle because God was strengthening your foundation. The roots of faith grow deepest in seasons of dryness. And now, because you stood firm, the rain is coming. The season that once looked barren will bloom again. The ground that once rejected your seed will now produce a harvest so great you won't be able to contain it. When God decrees increase, no one can reduce it. When God declares favor, no voice can reverse it. You may have been overlooked, but you are not forgotten. You may have been pushed aside, but you are being positioned. God specializes in taking the humble and exalting them before the proud. He raises those who trust in Him from the ashes of disappointment into the light of destiny. Every setback you faced was an unseen step in His plan. The enemy thought he was burying you, but he was actually planting you. And now the seed that has been buried in faith is breaking forth. The power of God moves like the wind, unseen but undeniable. It can lift a person from despair to destiny in an instant. That's why you must not let your current circumstance fool you. God can do more in one moment of favor than years of effort could ever accomplish. You may have been toiling, waiting, pushing forward without seeing progress. But when the divine hand of God touches your situation, everything shifts. What once resisted you will begin to yield. What once drained, you will now deliver fruit. The walls that stood tall before you will crumble at the sound of His command. There are moments when God waits until you've reached the end of yourself before He steps in. He does this not to harm you, but to show you that what's coming is by His strength, not yours. He allows the night to stretch long so that when the dawn breaks, you know it was only by His mercy. And when that breakthrough comes, it will carry the unmistakable fingerprint of God. You will look back and realize that even the delays were divine mercy. He withheld the blessing until your heart was ready to hold it. Every person who walks closely with God must pass through the furnace of testing. It's in that fire that faith is purified and trust is proven. You may have been wondering why things seemed harder for you than for others. It's because your calling is greater, your purpose deeper, and your reward more significant. God is shaping you for something uncommon. Ordinary challenges don't prepare extraordinary people. And the size of your trial is often a clue to the size of your coming triumph. The weight you feel is not meant to break you. It's building your spiritual muscle for the blessing you're about to carry. When God decides to reward faith, He doesn't just restore what was lost. He multiplies it. The blessings you are about to receive are not just compensation for the past. They are acceleration for the future. God is about to do something that will redeem the years of delay and confusion. The time you thought was wasted will suddenly make sense. The prayers that seemed unanswered will unfold in beauty and precision. And the same God who saw you in your valley will now lift you to the mountaintop of victory. You might say, I don't see how it can happen. But that's exactly when God steps in. He moves in ways beyond human reason. He specializes in impossibilities. When the odds are stacked against you, that's when His power shines brightest. When people have counted you out, He counts you in. When they said it's over, He declares it has only begun. You see, God doesn't consult your circumstances before fulfilling His promises. He speaks, and the universe rearranges itself to obey. And when He has spoken blessing over your life, not even your past mistakes can undo His plan. Some of you have been walking through what feels like a wilderness. It's dry, lonely, and quiet. You've prayed for direction, but all you've heard is silence. But here, this God is not ignoring you. He's teaching you to listen differently. In the wilderness, distractions fade, and your spirit becomes attuned to His still small voice. The wilderness is where strength replaces fear. It's where dependence replaces pride. And when you come out of it, you won't be the same. You'll come out with authority. You'll come out with clarity. You'll come out carrying the promise that could only be forged in the silence of struggle. When the breakthrough comes, it won't look like what you expected. It will be better. God's plans are higher than your plans, and His timing is flawless. Sometimes He holds back the blessing until the right people are around you to support it. Sometimes He closes a door because behind it is danger. Sometimes He delays so that when the breakthrough comes, no one but Him can get the glory. What is about to unfold in your life will leave no doubt about who made it happen. There will be moments in the days ahead when the blessings begin to flow and you'll find yourself overwhelmed. You'll ask God, why now? Why so much? And He will remind you of every night you spent trusting Him when nothing made sense. He'll remind you of every tear you shed in faith. The breakthrough that's coming is not random. It's a divine response to your endurance. You stayed when others walked away. You believed when others gave up. And now you are standing at the threshold of divine overflow. But let me tell you this with truth and love. When the breakthrough comes, stay anchored in humility. Don't forget the one who brought you there. Many rise on the wings of blessing, but fall through the weight of pride. Never forget that the source of your success is not your talent, not your connections, not your hard work alone. It is the favor of God. When you remember that your blessing will not destroy you, it will sustain you. God's favor is not limited. It cannot be exhausted or contained. When He pours out His goodness, it spills over into every area of your life, your relationships, your health, your purpose, your peace. And that's why your breakthrough will not only bless you, it will transform everyone connected to you. The same way a river nourishes the land it touches, your testimony will nourish others. People will look at your life and be reminded that trusting God is never in vain. There's a reason you've been through so much. God is about to use your story as proof that He still moves in power. The ones who thought you would never recover will see that you are not just surviving. You are thriving. The pain that once broke you will become the platform that lifts you. Every tear, every trial, every loss will find its purpose in the glory that's about to be revealed. You see, when God restores, He doesn't return things to their old state. He makes them better than before. And that's why you can rejoice even in the uncertainty. Because the same hand that allowed the storm is the hand that commands it to cease. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. God has been watching, working, and weaving every detail together. Soon, it will all unfold so quickly that you'll hardly have time to take it in. Blessings will meet you in unexpected places. People will show you kindness you didn't ask for. Opportunities will appear that you didn't chase, and you'll stand amazed, not because of your own strength, but because you trusted in the one who never fails. Some of you are standing in the final stretch of your waiting. You can sense it in your spirit. A release, a stirring, a holy anticipation. That's not anxiety. That's confirmation. The waiting season has done its work. It has built your endurance, refined your perspective, and strengthened your faith. You are no longer the same person who started this journey. You've been refined by the fire of time and transformed by the patience of faith. Now you are ready. When God moves, He does it suddenly. One phone call can change everything. One encounter can shift your destiny. One decision can open doors you never imagined. Don't underestimate what God can do in a single day. The walls of struggle you've been circling for years can collapse in a moment. The chains of limitation that held you back can break without warning. That's the power of divine timing. It doesn't ask for permission. It simply manifests. So prepare yourself. Position your heart in gratitude. Expect with faith. The greatest sign that your breakthrough is near is when the battle intensifies. The pressure you feel now is not a sign of defeat. It's the signal that something new is being born. The discomfort you feel is labor pain. The delay you're facing is the tightening before release. Don't give in to frustration now. Hold your ground. God is about to surprise you with His speed. Your life is about to overflow in ways that will make people marvel. Those who knew your struggle will not believe your transformation. They'll ask, how did it happen? And all you'll be able to say is, I was God. Because when He blesses, He does it in such a way that no man can claim the credit. He does it so that your testimony becomes a beacon of hope for those still waiting in the dark. You may have thought you were forgotten in the background. But God has been writing your comeback. The same stage that once overlooked you will now become the place of your revelation. The same ground that rejected your seed will now celebrate your harvest. And when that moment comes, it will come quickly. It will come powerfully. And it will come undeniably. Your breakthrough will not crawl. It will run. It will overtake you and overflow your life until you realize that every second of waiting was worth it. There is a moment before every breakthrough when it feels like nothing is moving. You pray, and it feels like the heavens are silent. You sow, and it seems like the ground has forgotten to respond. But that is not the absence of God. That is the quiet before the divine eruption. When God is about to do something extraordinary, He often hides it in ordinary silence. You see, creation itself was silent before God said, "Let there be light." And the instant He spoke, everything shifted. That same creative power that once commanded the universe is now speaking over your life. When God decides that your time has come, no power, no obstacle, no delay can stop it. The breakthrough that is coming is not a small change. It's a total transformation. God is not merely adjusting your situation. He's rewriting the script. The story that once brought you shame will soon bring you honor. The door that once closed in your face will now swing wide open in your favor. God's timing is always perfect, even when it feels painfully slow. He never arrives early, because early means unprepared. And He never arrives late, because late means missed opportunity. He comes at the exact moment when everything aligns according to His will. When your heart is ready and your faith is mature, the breakthrough appears as if it were waiting all along. You may not realize it, but everything you've endured has been divine training. The waiting season taught you patience. The losses taught you surrender. The silence taught you trust. God has been refining your spirit, stripping away fear, pride, and doubt so that nothing will hinder His blessing. The strength you have now didn't come easily. It was forged through every unanswered prayer, every disappointment, every test that forced you to rely on Him alone. That is why you are now ready to receive what you once could only dream of. God is not limited by your past. He is not intimidated by your failures. He is not restricted by the opinions of others. When He decides to elevate you, He does it in such a way that everyone knows it was His hand. He will turn the very place of your humiliation into the platform of your vindication. The same people who dismissed, you will witness your rise. The same environment that suffocated you will become the stage for your increase. This is how God operates. He uses what was meant to destroy you as the foundation for your breakthrough. Do not be afraid of sudden change. Sometimes God moves so fast that your heart struggles to catch up. But speed is His nature when the season shifts. There are years of preparation that culminate in one divine moment. You may wake up one day and find that everything is different, that the burden has lifted, that the opportunity has come, that the impossible has turned possible. That is the mystery of divine timing. When it happens swiftly. God doesn't need time. He creates it. When He declares that the appointed hour has come, time itself bows to His command. The key now is expectation. You cannot receive what you do not believe. If your heart is filled with doubt, it cannot hold the weight of God's blessing. Faith is the vessel that catches the rain of heaven. Keep your spirit ready. Keep your heart open. Speak words of belief even when your eyes see nothing. Because faith always moves before sight. When you believe that your breakthrough is coming, you align yourself with the rhythm of heaven. God responds to expectation, not hesitation. The person who expects nothing receives nothing. But the one who expects everything from God never leaves empty-handed. Some of you have been living beneath your potential, not because God limited you, but because fear disguised itself as humility. You told yourself you were content, but deep inside, you knew you were meant for more. God did not create you to barely survive. He created you to thrive, to shine, to expand. Your breakthrough will not only lift you, it will awaken parts of you that have been asleep. God is about to reintroduce you to yourself. The version of you that walks with courage, speaks with conviction, and lives with purpose. The version that has been hidden under layers of doubt is about to emerge. And the world will see what God always saw. When the blessing comes, it won't just meet your need. It will exceed it. You will have enough to give, enough to build, enough to bless others. Because that's the nature of divine overflow. God never blesses just one. It's always meant to flow. The more He gives, the more He expects you to pour into others. That's how His blessings multiply. If you hoard them, they stagnate. If you share them, they spread. So when your breakthrough arrives and it will remember that you are a vessel, not a reservoir. Let the goodness of God through your life become a stream that nourishes others who are still waiting for their season to change. And do not let comparison steal your peace. What God is doing in your life cannot be measured by someone else's timeline. You may see others rising while you are still waiting, but their story is not yours. What God is building in you is unique. Sometimes He takes longer with certain people because the foundation must be stronger. If He is taking His time, it's because the structure of your destiny is massive. The higher He plans to take you, the deeper He must dig first. So do not envy others' progress. Thank God for your process. When your breakthrough comes, it will be worth every second of waiting. There is a reason you feel something stirring inside you right now. That inner restlessness is not frustration. It's divine anticipation. Your spirit knows that change is near. It's like the earth before rain, heavy with promise. You can feel that something is shifting, but you can't quite describe it. That's because God is about to do something that has never been done in your life before. You are standing on holy ground, the threshold of transformation. Every force that tried to hold you back is losing its grip. Every wall is about to fall. Every closed gate is about to swing open. And when it does, the blessing will be too vast for you to manage alone. You'll need help to contain it. You'll need wisdom to handle it. You'll need strength to carry it. Because when God releases abundance, He does not measure it by your capacity. He measures it by His generosity. You'll find yourself saying, God, this is more than I prayed for. And He will remind you, I always give in abundance. That's why the Scripture says that those who trust in God will be like trees planted by rivers of water. Their leaves never wither, and they bear fruit in every season. You're not moving into a temporary blessing. You're entering a continuous flow. This is why you must guard your heart in this hour. The enemy will try to plant seeds of doubt, fear, and fatigue. He knows that faith is the key that unlocks the door to your breakthrough. But you must stand firm. Silence the voices that tell you it's too late. Ignore the whispers that say it's impossible. The same God who parted seas, who raised kings from dust, who fed nations in deserts. He is still on the throne. He has not forgotten your name. He has not overlooked your pain. He has heard every cry, seen every sacrifice, and counted every tear. God's memory is perfect. Nothing you have done in faith is lost. Not one prayer has vanished. They are all stored in His timing, waiting to be released. You will soon see what happens when those prayers collide with divine will. It will not just be a change in your circumstances. It will be a shift in your entire life. Old cycles will break. Old limitations will dissolve. You'll move from scarcity to sufficiency, from fear to faith, from hiddenness to visibility. And once it begins, it will move with such force that you'll barely be able to keep up. You might be thinking, how can something so big happen to someone like me? But God delights in using the unexpected. He chooses the overlooked to display His glory. He lifts the humble and confounds the mighty. The less you think you qualify, the more qualified you actually are in His hands. He takes what the world calls ordinary and makes it extraordinary. Your background, your failures, your flaws, they are not disqualifications. They are credentials of grace. They prove that it was never about your perfection, but about His power. You are about to walk into rooms you never thought you'd enter. You are about to receive opportunities that once seemed impossible. You are about to experience provision that will silence every doubt. When God opens His hand, no force can close it. And when He decides to bless, He does not need approval from anyone. The same people who said you'd never make it will have to acknowledge the divine favor on your life. The same situation that once broke you will become the reason others believe in God's power. So lift your spirit, walk with expectation, prepare your heart, because your breakthrough is not crawling. It's racing toward you. It's coming faster than you think, stronger than you imagined, and greater than you prayed for. You won't be able to contain it because it's not meant to be contained. It's meant to overflow to touch your family, your community, your destiny. God is not just changing your situation. He's changing your season. The struggle that once defined you is about to become your testimony of triumph. And when that day arrives, you will stand in awe of what God has done, knowing deep within that every tear, every trial, and every moment of waiting led to this divine release. There comes a moment when every soul must decide what kind of faith it will carry. Will you believe in God only when life is easy? Or will you trust Him when everything around you shakes? Will you praise Him when doors open? Or will you hold on when everything seems still? The measure of your faith is not proven by comfort, but by endurance. And God has been watching how you have endured. He has seen you stand when you could have fallen, believe when you could have doubted, and keep walking when your strength was nearly gone. Those who trust God, even in the dark, are the ones He raises into the light. Those who bow before Him in silence are the ones He honors before the world. And I tell you, the time is near when your quiet obedience will speak louder than any word you've ever said. This is the hour to rise with courage. This is the moment to lift your head and declare that no matter what comes, you will not give up on what God has promised. Do not let fear rob you of what is already written for you. Do not let doubt silence the faith that has kept you standing. Every voice of fear is a lie. Every whisper that says you can't is a shadow fading before the light of God's truth. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not behind. You are exactly where God needs you to be so that His power can be revealed at its appointed time. And when it happens, no one will mistake it for luck or coincidence. They will see that it was the hand of God. So now is the time to strengthen your heart. Pray with fire again. Believe with boldness again. Speak words of faith into the air around you and command your spirit to rise. Do not talk about what went wrong. Thank God for what He is making right. Do not rehearse your pain. Declare your purpose. The same God who brought you through storms is the same God who will crown your faith with victory. And that victory is not far. It's already being written into your days. You may not know how, but you don't need to. You only need to trust that God is faithful, that He is good, that He rewards those who hold on when others let go. Every great move of God begins in a heart that refuses to quit. Every breakthrough is born from a soul that kept believing when there was no evidence left to see. You are that soul. You are that heart. God chose you for this very moment, not because you were perfect, but because you were willing. And your willingness to believe will unlock blessings beyond anything you have imagined. You are about to step into a flood of divine favor so vast that it will overflow into every corner of your life. You will not be able to contain it because it will not be meant for you alone. It will pour out through you, blessing your family, your home, your work, and every person whose life touches yours. But before that outpouring, there must be surrender. There must be a moment when you stand before God and say, "Here I am. Do with me what you will." That's where true breakthrough begins. Not in striving, not in fear, but in surrender. When you let go of control, God takes over. When you stop trying to fix everything, God begins to perfect everything. The peace that follows surrender is the soil in which miracles grow. And the heart that trusts without seeing is the one that experiences power beyond understanding. So release it, every worry, every fear, every old wound, and let God fill the space where your doubt once lived. This is your call to rise higher in faith. Walk out of the shadows of fear and into the light of divine expectation. Speak life where death tried to dwell. Smile when others expect you to crumble. Stand tall knowing that God Himself has written victory into your story. You may have been waiting, but now heaven is moving. You may have been silent, but now your faith will shout louder than your pain. The world will see in you what it means to trust God completely, to walk in peace when others panic, to believe in goodness when everything looks broken. That is the kind of faith that moves mountains, and God is ready to honor that kind of faith in you. So as you leave this moment, carry this truth in your heart. Your breakthrough is not a distant dream. It is a divine certainty. It is already making its way toward you with a speed that no force can stop. Every second you remain faithful, the heavens draw near to fulfilling what was promised. Hold your peace. Stand your ground. Keep your hands lifted in gratitude, because when God moves, it will come so fast, so full, and so overflowing that you will not be able to contain it. And when it happens, let your heart whisper what words cannot. Our glory belongs to